Good evening, and welcome to the 2026 Candidates Forum sponsored by the Clarkstown Council of PTAs. To our candidates here, thank you for joining us. I'm Sonal Cáceres, immediate past president of the Clarkstown Council of PTAs. I will be your host tonight. This forum is held yearly as a way for community members to learn about the candidates running for the Clarkstown Central School District Board of Education. This forum is not a CCSD district or school event, and participation in the forum is not mandatory for the candidates. This year there are 4 new candidates: Michelle Bondar, Ray Francis, Eamon Rankin, and Brooke Stone, running for 2 available seats on the Board of Education. I would like to introduce everyone here tonight: Clarkstown Council of PTA's President and our moderator, Tiffany Percivalli, our recording secretary, Vanessa Pallinson, New York State PTA Governance Team member, Shauna Wold, and candidates Michelle Bondar, Ray Francis, Eamon Rankin, and Brooke Stone. To learn more about the candidates, please go to the PTA Council website to view candidate questionnaires at ptacouncilccsd.org. Before we get started, I want to give a huge thank you to Matthew Mariah, a student from our schools, for recording this event tonight. Thank you, Matthew, for all your help tonight. And now over to our moderator, Tiffany.
Thank you, Sonal. Good evening. I'm Tiffany Percivalli, your moderator for the evening. A short while ago, the candidates drew cards to determine their seating order and who would kick off the forum with opening statements. Each candidate will receive up to 2 minutes for their opening statements. We'll then move to the questions which were received from the school, PTAs, and Clarkstown community. We could only go with a handful of questions due to the forum's time limit. So if you don't see your question asked here tonight, we urge you to reach out to the candidates individually. For the seating order, Michelle Bondar got the highest card and will provide their opening statement first. Eamon Rankin, then Ray Francis, and finally Brooke Stone. When opening statements are completed, we'll start questions with Eamon. Going first. Each candidate will get a chance to answer at least 1 question first. The closing statements will begin with Eamon. We will be asking 8 questions tonight. You will all have up to 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer each question. The timekeeper will hold up a sign when you have 45 seconds left, and once again when you have 15 seconds left. When your time is up, the timekeeper will call time. With that, let's begin with our opening statements. Michelle, please go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you to the Clarkstown Council of PTAs for hosting tonight's forum. I'm Michelle Bondar, and I'm running for CCSD Board of Education. I live in New City with my husband and 2 children, both of whom will spend their school years in this district. So when I talk about the future of our schools, it isn't abstract for me, it's deeply personal. Professionally, I'm a licensed speech-language pathologist with 15 years of experience supporting students across a wide range of abilities and needs. I hold New York State certifications as both a school building leader and school district leader. And every day I work alongside teachers, administrators, support staff, and families to strengthen outcomes for students, ensuring that each student has the resources they need to meet their full potential. I'm running because the decisions made at the board table directly shape every child, every classroom, and every family in this district. And we deserve a board member who actually has been in those classrooms and deals with real issues that are faced on a daily basis. My priorities are focused and achievable. First, enhance oversight of special education and support services so that every student receives the resources they need to be successful, and families do not have to leave the district to get the help their children need. Second, build staff capacity through meaningful, ongoing professional development that equips all staff with the skills they need to support each learner. Third, strengthen communication and engagement with our families, because education is a true partnership. And fourth, ensure consistency across our schools so a child's opportunities aren't determined by which building they were assigned to. Right now, many families in Clarkstown feel like they're navigating the system alone. We can do better, and the way we can do better is by bridging the gap between our schools and our homes, between our district and our community, between the families who speak up at the microphone and the silent majority who don't, but who care just as deeply. That's the bridge I want to help build. Tonight I'm here to answer your questions honestly and to share a vision that puts students and the people who teach them first. Thank you.
Thank you. Eamon?
Good evening, and thank you for the Clarkstown PTA Council for organizing this wonderful event and forum tonight. My name is Amy Rankin. I'm proud to be a lifelong Clarkstown resident and graduate of the Clarkstown Central School District, and someone who cares deeply about the future of our schools and our entire community. I'm running for the Clarkstown School Board because I believe in practical, responsible leadership that keeps students at the center of every one of our decisions. Our district is strong, but we face challenges on a daily basis, supporting student mental health, maintaining academic rigor, planning for our aging facilities, and ensuring every dollar of our budget is used wisely. I bring a different perspective to the board through my previous professional experience in logistics with Tilcon, New York, where I managed up to $200,000 a day in daily sales, and my volunteer experience as recording secretary for the West Nile Fire Department, as well as my role as a board member and board secretary for Keep Rockland Beautiful, a local nonprofit. I've developed a strong foundation in budgeting, long-term planning, and accountability. I've worked on building balanced budgets through my nonprofit work, developing policies, and making thoughtful, well-informed decisions and not late reactions to benefit the organizations. If elected, my focus will be on 4 key areas. First, strengthening and consistently applying policies around student well-being and bullying so every child feels safe and supported while in the district. Second, creating a long-term district-wide strategic plan so we're planning ahead, not reacting, especially when it comes to our district facilities and district infrastructure. Third, maintaining strong financial oversight to protect our taxpayers for the long term while continuing to invest in opportunities that prepare our students for success, whether that's college, the trades, or careers. And fourth, expanding in-district special education programs so we can better support students and bring more of them back into our district schools with the services they need. To me, this campaign is not about politics. It's about the people of our community and our school district. It's about listening to parents, supporting teachers, and doing what's best for all of our students. I'm committed to transparency, respect, and bringing our community together. Ray Francis and I would be honored to earn your vote on Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, Ray, you're up.
Amy said it all. My name is Raymond Francis. I want to thank you guys for hosting us, the Clarkstown PTA Council. I moved to Rockland County 31 years ago. I'm a product of New York City school system. And when myself and my wife wanted to have a family, we looked around and we saw we were impressed by the Clarkstown School District academics, and this is where we decided 31 years ago to come here and start a family. I am a proud recipient of a PTA member, lifetime member. I was also, I work for the town, for the building department. I'm the president of the CSEA union for the town of Clarkstown employees. I also served the town of Clarkstown as an auxiliary police officer for 16 years. I'm also sitting on the board of the Helen Hayes Hospital Foundation Board, and I also serve on the plumbing and heating board for Rockland County as well. My time with Laurel Plains, I had the privilege to learn from one of the best people in education, which was Carol Pillar. And anything that we wanted to do with the PTA, her first question was, how is this going to help the kids? How is that going to benefit the kids? So this is the approach that I am going to take once we get on the board. The best interests of our kids will always be my #1 priority, to receive the best education. To the students, it's very important for them to feel safe and secure in the schools while they're in school. And also, sorry.
Thank you so much.
That was 2 minutes.
It goes by fast.
Hi, thanks for having us, Council. My name is Brooke Stone. I am a mom of 3 children in the district. I am a member of the West Nyack Elementary PTA. I am a Girl Scout troop leader, troop number 40119, represent. You know, we found new city sort of on a whim. We were looking for a mid-century modern house, and we found that. But the reason why we chose the town was because of the school system. We heard that the school system was great. And I have had such a wonderful experience. I have 2 children in special ed, and seeing their growth has been amazing. I am a graduate of SUNY Oswego. I have a degree in theater. I have spent the last, 23 years of my career in the arts. I was the staff writer on a magazine called The Lab. I've written for Flaunt. I've written tons of published stuff. I played the upright bass. I played for the Brooklyn Symphony, the LA Junior Philharmonic. The lessons that I've learned through all of these things has really made me a champion for the arts. So that's something that I would love to focus on, getting the kids off of their iPads into nature, increasing programs for our highest achieving learners as well as our special ed. I want to promote a culture of respect, kindness, and inclusion in our community. And
Thank you so much.
Wow. You're right on.
that was my biggest fear, no. But this is my work.
Okay, with that, we're going to begin the questions this evening. The first question will begin with Eamon. Eamon, what does an effective approach to student behavior and bullying prevention look like beyond discipline? And what should schools be doing proactively each day to build a positive school climate?
It is my belief that our district needs to invest more into our bullying programs and look at how we can improve them and create balanced programs across all schools, not just certain institutions in our district. We need to look at it being the same, there needs to be the same guidelines carried across all grade levels, all schools. Right now, that's not happening. From talking to many parents, there's been different disciplinary actions, or it's going case by case. There hasn't been anything, and it's been open to interpretation per school. One thing I would like to see is something on the district level, working with administrators, the board, parents, some students on the high school level, and many of our experienced educators on how we can implement something that is going to affect the long-term status of our district. Because right now bullying is still a major issue, and in many cases there's not repercussions for the aggressor, and that's something I would really like to see changed.
Thank you. Ray, you're up next.
So, from what I understand, for years, the bullying program was integrated in the 90s, and over time has become obsolete. So, when elected onto the board, we would look into programs that would benefit our district and our students' population. There is every parent, that's just something that every parent fears. I experienced that myself, being in the New York City school system, mainly because I was a foreign student, like immigrated from Egypt, and it was a little tough in the beginning, the first few years. But I also think educating and talking to kids is very important to, you scare me with that thing. It's a very serious matter, and it is an issue. And we definitely need to look into, like I said before, different programs that will educate our kids about bullying.
Thank you. Brooke?
Yeah, I think right now our community needs a little dose of togetherness. The parents as well. I think a lot of sort of behaviors come from at home. I know that a few of us here have experienced some online bullying during this whole process. And I just wonder if we're doing enough to engage with the parents, even if it's just a little reminder here and there. But I'm pretty impressed with some of our social emotional learning programs that we have going on and where they're going. And I think that all the bullying comes from a pain inside, and identifying what is causing that from both the aggressor and then sort of, what am I saying? You know, going from there. It's never a bad kid that is a bully. It's usually a kid that is hurting. And I think by noticing and doing these programs, it all sort of ties together. So I want to keep going with our SEL programs and see how that works out.
Thank you. Michelle, you're up.
So I share similar views with Brooke, where bullying really does stem often from mental health issues and social emotional issues. So I would like to see the district, as they already are doing, but to continue to work on more restorative practices versus punitive practices. We know that the research shows that when kids feel supported and included and calm, and they have the strategies to work on self-regulation, and they are feeling safe within their school environment, there is a correlation with less bullying in those environments. So I think that the district has pushed a lot of curriculums that work well, such as the ruler program, which I think we can maybe think about something a little bit different for the older kids, dialectical behavior therapy. One specific program that I am trained in specifically is therapeutic crisis intervention, which really helps with de-escalation for students who have some sort of moments of crisis. All of that is tied to students' mental health, and I think once we are able to really tackle that, I think that we will see a decrease in bullying and just overall improve culture within our schools.
Thank you. Okay, so question number 2, we'll begin with Fred. What do you think about the current SEL program offered by CCSD? What would you change, and what program do you recommend the school district adopt? How will you ensure schools have the resources and personnel to support all students?
Which program?
The current program that we have in the school districts.
Oh,
The school district has a current program, such as the Yale Ruler for one. So that's the program that some of the schools are using. So with that, how do you feel about that program?
Can I go second on that one? Do you mind if I go second?
I could go.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first?
Sure, I'll go.
I think that's, go right ahead.
Oh, yes, sorry. There's a really awesome video about the SEL program for everyone out there on the Clarkstown Parent Academy. They're rolling out something called Break the Hold, which is a suicide prevention initiative, which sounds great. I think that the ruler program, like Michelle said, is great for foundational, like when you're in elementary school, foundation, this is what I'm feeling, this is, and then maybe they outgrow it as they get older. So I'm not sure what's available in terms of that, but there's never going to be enough counselors, there's never going to be enough aids for mental health. I just want to make sure we have the most in any way that we can. And I'm missing a part of that question?
How do you ensure schools have resources and personnel to support it?
Well, I'm not sure how the inner workings go in terms of hiring and budgeting, so I would definitely have to rely on the experts. But it's something that I feel very deeply about and support, so I will listen to them and fight for anything I can to make sure we have the most of anything that we need.
Great, thank you. Are you ready, Brad?
Are you referring to the SEL program?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear which
I'm
program.
sorry,
That's all right.
I'll speak clearer.
No, it's okay. No, because I did do some research. So I believe years ago, the district had a social emotional learning, right? We studied several programs and we decided on the Yale ruler curriculum, correct? And after several years, we found that it's most effective with the lower grade, not the older, not the high school kids. So the district should look into other programs, other curriculums for social and emotional learning for the Clarkstown that would be suitable to the older kids. So the program that's working right now works on the younger kids, doesn't really work on the, it's not as effective. Oh, this is these are my notes. The curriculum required the children, they had to pick a pin and place it on a color that they were for the day. That didn't work for the high school kids, you know, so the new program should include social interaction. School counselors advised that many students suffered from this inability to work with others. So I think a different program for the high schoolers would work better.
Great,
Is that what you said?
thank you.
Yeah, listen, what happened there?
Okay, Michelle?
Yes, can you just, I'm
Sure,
sorry,
we
I know it's a long question, but just,
No worries.
thank you.
What do you think about the current SEL program offered by CCSD? What would you change, and what program do you recommend the school district adopt? How will you ensure schools have the resources, personnel to support all students?
Okay, thank you so much. So with the ruler K through 12 program, I do think that it works well for the younger kids to really get them to learn about mindfulness, to identify their emotions, to explain their emotions with their peers and with their teachers and support staff. So I think it does work well for the younger kids. I think for the secondary level, it touches on a little bit of conflict resolution, but I think there are probably stronger programs that we can implement for the secondary level students. There's also dialectical behavior therapy, which I think is working well. From what I read and the research I've done, it does focus on training school psychologists and counselors on how to support students with re-regulation, interpersonal skills, and more mindfulness for the older students. I think that we really need to also have all staff trained on this, and not just the clinical teams, but TAs and teachers, and to have parent workshops, and for teachers to come and for students to be trained. I think it really needs to be more global within the school. That way it'll work more effectively. But ultimately, I think any program we would have to really do more research and see, but so far I think from what I'm hearing that those are working pretty well. And then as far as additional personnel, I will always support additional personnel. Like Brooke said, I don't know the inner workings and how all of that works with budgeting. There are grants that can always be provided as well for this type of work, mental health supports via telehealth. So there's a lot of things that we can tap into, but I will always support a student to counselor ratio that will support everybody's needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Eamon?
So from talking to many people and also doing some research on my own, the yellow ruler program worked well in the elementary schools. As everyone else has said, it wasn't as great for the middle school and high schools. One of the major things I would like to see is what other programs are out there. And there, as Michelle touched on, there is a lot of grant funding out there for these programs and adding additional staffing, which is important. And one of my major things is I want to see us provide the resources to our students. And by providing them, they're going to succeed better in school, whether it be hiring counselors, training our educators more in social emotional learning, and providing everyone, students, across the board with these opportunities. It's going to help everyone succeed.
Thank you. Excellent. Ray, would you like to go first for this one since you? It's okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
All right, so what does it look like in practice to maintain rigorous expectations while ensuring students with special needs can access the curriculum?
Okay, so I am, I have a lot of friends who have kids that benefit from the special education program. And the parents' feedback, led to all the hiring, right, of the consultant to evaluate the special education. And the improvement was implemented this year, if I understand, to address the parents' concern, which is, it's very important to involve the parents, okay? Through the years in the past, the parents were put aside or were not listening to. You need to listen to the parents all the time. They need to be our partners, so that the teachers are during the day and the parents are during the evening, when the kids come home. It's a partnership. We need to look into adding into more classrooms, right? And add more professional educators to deal with by expanding our special education program and streamlining, the support that the kids can succeed. So we need, looking more versatile staff to with different certification, different backgrounds, help expand that program. I believe it needs to be expanded.
Great. Thank you, Ray. Brooke?
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely, absolutely. What does it look like in practice to maintain rigorous expectations while ensuring students with special needs can access the curriculum?
So, the differentiated instruction, I think, is really important in this sort of case, right? Because you want the special education students and the children who are excelling in whatever they're excelling in to all be able to study the same thing, but in their own sort of way. So that's something that I've been learning about. I had never heard that phrase before, differentiated instruction, before this process. I find it really interesting. I'm not sure if I fully grasp. This is going to be a good question for Michelle, because this is her wheelhouse. But you know, in terms of special ed kids, it's like not every kid necessarily needs an IEP or a 504. But you do have to identify the children that are struggling earlier, grab them, and then follow them once they have whatever they need. And so I would like us to continue to do that, pay more attention to following up with the students so that no one falls through the cracks. I have so many notes here on this. You know, it's how do we screen? How do we reduce that risk? I'm almost out of time, but those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you so much. Michelle, you up?
Yes. So I think that is, you know, my whole life's work, ensuring that students with special needs have their needs met and they're able to access the curriculum. I think it's equally as important to ensure that academic rigor maintains really high, and students who are able to academically excel have those opportunities through advanced courses and extracurriculars and enrichment programs that should be consistent across all schools. So I think the students that have that ability should be pushed forward as far as they can go. With special education students, we certainly have to ensure that the curriculum is modified for them, that teachers have the professional development that they need to be able to identify how they can tailor instruction to meet everybody's needs, so that students who are struggling, they have the material presented to them in a way that they can access. And then I think it goes also beyond specifically just special education, but there's students who have diverse learning needs that may not require 504 and may not need an IEP, but they do have specific learning styles or that are unique, and they need to have that identified and reflected in the way that the teachers provide their instruction as well. We also need to be supportive of twice exceptional students. Some of those kids often fall through the cracks, and there's not instruction that is tailored to their needs. So we have to ensure that the instruction that is provided is at everybody's level so that all students are able to thrive and have those opportunities.
Great. Thank you so much. Amen, you're up.
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely. What does it look like in practice to maintain rigorous expectations while ensuring students with special needs can access the curriculum?
So one of the things I would like to see is bring in a more diverse staff with a wider range of backgrounds and different specialized certifications that could benefit our district, especially our special needs programs, to meet the needs of every student. By strengthening our team of educators, we would be able to provide more comprehensive support and maybe even be able to bring more students back into the school district. And this would create more consistent, streamlined approach to services, because every child in our district deserves the same level of support, and the ones that need more support, we need to be there to be able to support them. And that would also be taking the time as a district and working with administrators to spend more time listening to the needs of some of our special ed students and their families, and see where we can help with the individual families' needs instead of arguing over services, which has happened in the past, listening to many parents and knowing many personally that's happened too. And one of the things would also be, they have the new literacy programs that are being trialed this year, and it's my understanding from doing some research on them that they could also help bring some students back that have dyslexia, which would be a huge benefit to the district.
Well said.
Thank you very much.
Well said.
Question number 4, we'll start with Michelle. As our district becomes increasingly diverse, How will you ensure schools are inclusive, welcoming, and compliant with state laws, while also elevating the voices and experiences of all students and families, including LGBTQIA+ community?
So, great question. So I think that it goes back to really creating a positive and safe culture where everybody feels welcomed, included, safe, and supported. I think that we have to create that as part of our overall school culture and within the community at large. There is certainly division that hopefully we will be able to work towards bridging and have a more collaborative and positive culture throughout the community. I think it's important to really get to know our neighbors and all of the students, and our differences make us stronger, and to include everybody's differences in day-to-day activities, whether it's making sure that everybody feels reflected in the curriculums and the lessons that we're learning about, having cultural nights so everybody can learn about each other's cultures and backgrounds, and really just having all of us and our individuality reflected in our day-to-day practices.
Thank you.
Can you
Eamon?
repeat the question?
Absolutely. As our district becomes increasingly diverse, how will you ensure schools are inclusive, welcoming, and compliant with state laws, while also elevating the voices and experiences of all students and families, including the LGBTQIA+ community?
Diversity is one of the things that makes our community so great. And if elected to the board, one of the things I would really like to see is more outreach from the Board of Ed and district administrators to be able to listen to the concerns of community members and especially our parents, staff, everyone concerned. Even if it's setting up a table at parent-teacher conferences, just to make yourself accessible. By doing this, you're going to be able to listen to everyone's concerns. We need an inclusive school environment. We cannot have the argument that has gone on in recent years. Everybody deserves to be treated equally, and that's so important. And we must come together as a community and support our entire school system. It doesn't matter your background, your ethnicity, your sexual orientation. Everybody must come together for the better of our school district.
Thank you. Right?
So I agree with Michelle and Eamon. It is everything that they said, I 100% agree with. And speaking, again, like I said before, speaking from experience, being an immigrant and coming to the school system with the language, a little bit of the language barrier and the background, ethnicity, it is very important to respect each other and to learn about each other's cultures. And it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is or what your background is, but that comes from the parents and that comes from the educators to talk to the kids and educate the kids and do have nights where you know, like Michelle said, you different, what do you call it? The,
Cultural nights.
Cultural nights,
Yeah.
where you have different, like I've been to functions where the different, like fairs with different tables with different countries, with the country's history, with the country's food and the traditions. It does go a long way, and I totally agree and respect that, and I think that would be a great idea. It would be very helpful. But you would need the parents and the teachers, cooperation in order for that to work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that we're all going to agree on this one. I mean, we need to celebrate our differences right now. We are so afraid of one another, and that sort of that culture is creeping in onto everywhere online. And I think that if we do a lot of these things that we have mentioned, Strawtown is an incredible cultural night. I would love to see that stretched a bit. I would love for more of the adults who, I think when you're a little bit older, some of these things can seem scary. I think we need to engage a lot more with the parents, and I think we just need to make it all fun and loving and
Cozy.
cozy, we just need to wash our hands and hair of all the negativity that we have had and experienced on the board, and I think a lot of that it involves nipping it in the bud where we can, and holding each other as parents and as community members accountable, because children see everything online, they hear everything, they're paying attention when you don't think they are, and we've got to be great examples.
Can I make a quick comment, Councilman?
We can. You can do the closing statements.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
Write it down, save for later.
Just while I have my thoughts.
So our question number 5 begins with Eamon. As we move towards adopting new curriculum, how can we ensure that it is aligned to state standards, academically rigorous, and culturally responsive while meeting needs of all learners?
So currently, as far as I know, our district is piloting 2 new literacy programs in our schools, and one is going to be selected and implemented next year. And this is exactly the type of progress we need to build on. Supporting all of our students and is one of the most important things that a board and school administration can do. And again, you're going to have so many people of different levels in our schools. We need to look at bringing back some of our accelerated programs and our arts that have been taken away recently. And because these programs, they give the students the opportunity to succeed. And it's not only in school, it could be in college, it could be in careers. And one of my major things is I want to advocate for a literacy approach that's going to ensure that every student gets the support that they deserve, especially our special needs students, and even our students of different backgrounds. It could be English as a second language, it could be anything. We need to make sure the literacy program that is chosen supports all students across the district, not just a few.
Thank you. Right.
So, I believe the district have piloted two programs. By the end of the year, they will have to select the best 2 programs to implement for next year and moving forward. The new literacy program that they're focusing on phonics was the old program didn't do. And with the rise of dyslexia diagnosis in the district, improving literacy and reading programs, the hope is to bring some of those students back to the district, and we can, serve them better and keep them close to home.
Thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Absolutely. As we move towards adopting new curriculum, how can we ensure that it is aligned to state standards, academically rigorous, and culturally responsive while meeting the needs of all learners?
Yeah, it's great to have a state law because it gives us a foundation to work from. So we have to follow that as a board. And although we do have, someone who deals specifically with the curriculum, Michelle shared this with me, the fish tank learning and arts and letters that are being piloted. These are things that we have to try out. We have to listen to our teachers. They are going to know best. And I am going to, if I'm on this board, I'm going to do what I can to be in constant communication with them and taking their advice, because they know far more than I could ever. I can't even do my 4th graders math homework with her sometimes. But it's exciting. I like seeing the board, what they come up with the curriculum. This is not my job. This is Michelle's expertise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's where it's at in regards to this thing. But I think they're doing a great job, and I just would like to work as a support to them.
Thank you. Okay, Michelle?
I'm sorry.
Absolutely,
we can do this.
no problem.
Just refresh.
That's fine. As we move towards adopting new curriculum, how can we ensure that it is aligned to state standards, academically rigorous, and culturally responsive while meeting the needs of all learners?
Okay, so thank you. So as far as aligning with state standards, I would always defer to the assistant superintendent of curriculum and the instructional coaches, who I'm sure are able to ensure that the curriculums are aligned with the state standards. And I think we have to ensure that as the state standards are changing, the curriculums that we're using continue to align with those standards. As far as ensuring that all students are making progress with using those curriculums, I think we have to analyze the data. We have to see student performance. We have to analyze and look at the growth maps and see how students are performing and are they making progress towards meeting those state standards using those specific curriculums. I think we also have to survey teachers and parents. A lot of times the teacher and parent voice is not always included in those selections, and I think that that's important. Teachers have to feel ownership over what they're teaching. The other thing is I think that our instructional coaches, which I'm really glad to hear that we have instructional coaches in the district, but they have a true pulse on how things are working. They speak with the teachers, they consult with the teachers on an ongoing basis, and I think having professional learning communities where teachers can engage in those important conversations to identify if the curriculums are working or not working will help to ensure that all students are making the gains that they need to be making.
Great. Thank you. Okay, question number 6. We're going to start with Red. If the district faces budget constraints, what programs or services would you prioritize protecting, and where would you consider making reductions while minimizing impact on students?
Well, I don't believe that the budgeting cannot be anything that would affect the students. It cannot be any of the programs. It cannot be anything that has to do with academics. We would definitely have to look at the budget to save money somewhere else. I mean, there's no ifs and buts about it. So, and that's the reason why we're all here. That's the reason why the teachers are there. That's why the reason why the school district is here. We cannot we cannot do anything that's going to affect the kids. Now, saying all of that, we don't know all the nuts and bolts of everything behind the scene as far as the school budget or the school financial. So once we get into the board, you have to weigh out your options, and there's got to be a way we can compromise where to save money. That for budgeting issue, it would have to come from somewhere else outside the academics, which meaning teachers or any of the programs that cannot be touched. It would have to be, or find a way to generate other revenues that will not affect the academics and the kids. Kids will always come first.
Thank you.
I would say hands off the arts, because those are usually the first to go. And it's really sad we lost an art room at West Nyack Elementary, and now it's just an art cart. And that breaks my heart because that is my world, and I know that how important it is for children to express themselves. A kid with bottled up feelings, nothing good comes from that. I love the Dimensions program. I would love to see it. I would love to see more from that program. I don't love the DARE program. I hate to say that out loud. I think that we can do better than that particular program, just from what I hear. But yeah, hands off the arts.
Thank you. Michelle?
So that's a really difficult question. In full transparency, given that we have about 20% of the budget to work with as far as how we allocate that, and the director of finance allocates all of that in conjunction with the superintendent. So that's a really, really difficult question that I think requires a comprehensive review of the programs. It's difficult to say which one would be cut without knowing specifically what's working well and what needs to remain, right? So I think a comprehensive review of the programs and their effectiveness is the first thing that you would have to do. And then in addition to that, seeing what can be replaced with grants, right? So there's so many grants out there that we can use to fund enrichment activities. For example, the hydroponics, that's all done through grants. So we can certainly tap into grant opportunities for that kind of funding, but we would have to do a comprehensive review before determining what should be cut, and hopefully nothing ever.
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely. If the district faces budget constraints, what programs or services would you prioritize protecting, and where would you consider making reductions while minimizing impact on students?
From talking to many people in the community, many people are concerned, especially after the sale of the Palisades Mall and the bankruptcy, because the Palisades Mall is the #1 tax generator for our school district. I would not look at cutting programs. One of the things, as Michelle touched on, is we need to look at alternative grant sources, because we never want to take away from our students and the academics, the arts. You don't want to have to touch any of that. And the district should, if I'm elected to the board, I would like to push to start looking at what grants are available now and that the district is eligible for, so we can increase a budget surplus, so we can prepare for a rainy day if this is going to occur. Because especially now, we don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty with the mall, and with that tax revenue, even if it gets cut even more than it has, we could be in a sticky situation. And luckily, Clarkstown schools prepared for what they had to pay in taxes back to the mall, so it didn't hurt the taxpayer. But from my calculations, it would be about a 10% tax increase if the mall went under. So we need to start preparing for this now. It's not something to be reactive about.
Thank you. Question number 7, we're going to start with Brooke. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing education. What is your position on integrating AI into teaching and learning, and how would you ensure it supports, not replaces, critical thinking and academic integrity?
I don't think you can. I do not think that you can, any use of AI is going to be good for our brains. I think that it is terrifyingly amazing in some ways, and just terrifying, plain terrifying in many others. During this process, I have never used it before. I'm like, the water, the trees, we can't handle this environmentally, and until recently. And it's getting to the point with AI where you can't tell what people know and don't know. And I don't want our children or our teachers using it at all. I feel like there's too much of a margin of error. I feel like our brains are going to shrink down to nothing, and we're going to forget how to write our names, after a while. We already can't do cursive, I really, this scares me environmentally and, with our children. How are they going to learn if they don't have to do? So I don't know. I think that's one of the biggest questions facing humanity right now.
Thank you. Michelle?
Can you repeat?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing education. What is your position on integrating AI into teaching and learning? And how would you ensure it supports, not replaces, critical thinking and academic integrity?
So I think that it's something that we can't escape, and that Pandora's box has already been opened, and AI is here to stay. And I think it's a matter of teaching ourselves and educators learning and students being taught how to use it responsibly, because it's not going away, so we have to prepare for it. I think that there is a lot of, it does serve some purposes and some benefits. So like for teachers, for example, it does help with lesson planning and it does take away or reduce the amount of time spent on certain things that they may otherwise be using their time for. So again, there is a time and a place and space for it. But it's a matter of teaching our students how to make sure that they're using it responsibly. I know that the teachers have certain programs that they can filter the work through and determine whether the work was AI generated or not. But teaching students how to do their research using AI in a way that they're not using it solely for the purposes of replacing their work, their effort, but how to integrate it in a way that is responsible and not plagiarizing, because unfortunately it's part of our new way of life.
Thank you.
Can you just-
Absolutely. Artificial intelligence is rapidly changing education. What is your position on integrating AI into teaching and learning? And how would you ensure it supports, not replaces, critical thinking and academic integrity?
AI is something that we're not going to escape in today's day and age, and it's growing by the day. But we need to create clear district policy for students, educators, administrators on how it's going to be used in the schools. You can't have students doing their entire reports just off of an AI generator. We need to focus on how it can be an aid and create strict guidelines of how it can be used, if it is going to be used in our schools. Like I said, we're not going to be able to get around it. give it a few more years of how fast it's already advanced. We're going to have to implement it one way or another, but it needs to be done properly because we need our students to be critical thinkers. We can't have them just typing in a question and it giving them an answer. We need them to still do research, still study, and look at things the proper way. So I'd like to see proper guidelines and education on how to properly use AI across the entire district.
Thank you.
So I have a friend of mine who's a professor, and he teaches business law, and he uses AI to but to put through the reports that the students hand in, or the essays, AI tells him if that report was generated by AI. It's amazing. So as much as it helps, as much as, it works both ways. So that he's using it, and he would tell the student, your report was generated by AI, and he gives it back to him. He says, I want something that you would write yourself, not AI wrote it for you. On that note, we also need to give the students the opportunity to, because AI is going to replace, in the future, is going to replace a lot of jobs, a lot of, so I think anything in the trade business, like BOCE's, we need to get programs and give the opportunity to those students to choose and to try. It's just like we would take our kids to soccer, baseball, t-ball, lacrosse, let them try everything. So the same thing would implement with different opportunities. They'll try electricity, they'll try electrician, they'll plumber, but whatever trades, that would also help them as well. So to combat in the whole AI.
Thank you. Question number 8 is our final question of the evening. We'll begin with Michelle. As a board member, what strategies would you use to support high-quality staff recruitment and retention?
So I think we need to have recruitment events. That is something that is always effective as far as for looking for the talent. I think that, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Absolutely. As a board member, what strategies would you use to support high-quality staff recruitment and retention?
Yeah, so recruitment, there's different ways that you can recruit staff. You can recruit through recruitment events. That's always, a really great way to look for talent outside of the district. While I think having people grow from within is really great, I think there's a lot of talent outside as well that should be brought in, so that we're not limited to already the staff that we have in our buildings already. As far as retention, I think teachers need to feel valued. I think teachers need to feel empowered. I think teachers need to have professional development and feel that they are equipped with all of the skills that they need to be effective in their roles. I think we need to have sufficient resources for teachers so that they feel that every day that when they come to work that they have what they need to be prepared to teach their students. I think it's all about really helping teachers feel empowered with everything and equipped with everything that they need to be successful.
Thank you. Eamon? Yep. As a board member, what strategies would you use to support high-quality staff recruitment and retention?
So Michelle touched on it, but I would like to see recruitment fairs across our district a few times a year when we have available positions. And this goes for all positions, not only just educators. Another thing I would like to see is for staff development, us provide more opportunities to our educators and staff members to learn about different things, and maybe even reach out to them and have them do a survey with administration to see what topics would interest them and benefit them, instead of just the same things. So doing that and keeping them engaged is going to be very important. Another thing is providing them with the tools and resources to succeed at their jobs on a daily basis is so important, because without our teachers, our district would be nothing. It's so important to support them because they support our students, their families, and our entire community. So one of my main focuses would be making the board accessible to all of the teachers, all of our staff, as much as possible, and hear their concerns, and we can come up with solutions as a team. It's, the whole community needs to be involved, not just one group.
This is a question pretty much, we're all gonna say the same thing. However, I can only speak from experience. Again, I'm a code enforcement officer. I am certified by New York State, with New York State building codes. And every year, we're required to have 24 hours of classrooms recertification by the state, because everything, changes year to year. So I would think it would be the same for the teachers. A conference, send them to conferences on a rotation basis. Get them, just to continuing education for teachers just as well. And I think that will be beneficial to them. Retention, pay them more, but definitely it is continuing education for teachers just like it is for everybody else in their profession.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that to get the best teachers here, I'm not sure how the hiring process goes with the teacher, but it starts with the reputation of our district and how well we take care of our educators. I think that we could be doing more for our teachers. I know they have a contract renegotiation up next year, and I would like to help them get more money. I would like to help the TAs get more money. I know, 80% of our budget goes to staffing, and that presents a challenge. They're working on getting children back into the district right now, which will free up some of our funds. I think that's great. But if people can't live in Clarkstown, then they have to be comfortable. They have to be able to live a life that is enjoyable to them so that they can do the hardest job in the world, which is educating our children. So I would like Clarkstown to have a better reputation out there about how our teachers are compensated. And if I were on the board, I would do anything to support them.
Thank you so much. That concludes the questions portion of the evening. Now we will do closing statements. You'll have 2 minutes for your closing statements. Eamon, you will go first.
So I would like to take a moment to thank the PTA Council for Clarkstown for inviting us all here tonight. And it was great to meet the other candidates and spend some time talking to them before this forum and hearing a little bit about them. In closing, my campaign is about bringing the community back together and keeping our focus where it belongs, which is on our students and our entire community. It is about creating a school environment built on respect where every student in our district feels safe, supported, and valued. That means continuing strengthening community partnerships, prioritizing student mental health initiatives, and making sure our policies around bullying are effective and consistently applied across all schools. Through my work with the West Nile Fire Department and Keep Rockin' Beautiful, I've learned the importance of service to community, teamwork, and community involvement. These are the same values I will bring to the Board of Education, reaching out and listening to everyone in our community's concerns. Another important goal of mine is looking at expanding career and technical education opportunities within our district and providing them in district instead of BOCES to expand these opportunities to our students as the trades are growing and our world is rapidly changing with AI taking a center stage focus. Most importantly, I will always make myself available and accessible to all members of our community, and I will be there to listen, learn, and work together to make the best decisions for our public school system. And on May 19th, I respectfully ask for your support for myself and Ray Francis, and thank you everyone here tonight for your time, and it was much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ray, you're up.
Oh, geez. So I just want to, because I wanted to real quick, as far as any of the programs, I feel like we cannot touch any of the programs, not just the arts, but the sports, the music, and all the other programs, just as important as learning science and math, and I truly believe that. So that's definitely, we would not touch any of those things. Now, most important thing is the kids, right? The focus on the kids. And also, in order to do that, there's a lot of different parts that we have to consider. Of course, everything has to be the best interest for the kids, receive the very best education. The students need to feel safe and secure all the time. And also for the parents and for the community to support our school system, we have to, keep the taxes manageable for our community. Have experience in budgeting and negotiating, because I'm actually currently negotiating the contract of our employees for the town of Clarkstown, And also, we need to work with the teachers and the staff and the administrators. It's very important. Team works, it makes the dream works, right? Teamwork. We need especially structured mental health program for all our students, right? And we need to get the parents involved as well. It's not just, the teachers and administration, the parents play a big part of that. And the right of the parents and the students to be upheld, strong academic programs, and the involvement of the parents. And I'll be there for every step of the way, and every aspect of it. I'll be, hopefully I'll bring a lot to the table.
Thank you. Brooke?
Oh, it was Eamon said, sorry. Sorry.
It's hard to say that once you sit and
I
you
know.
meet everybody.
I know, it is hard,
Everybody
but-
here is going to bring something special and unique to the table, and I really don't think you should go wrong. I could say vote for mothers because we know everything, but
What
for
about
me, and fathers too. There's a lot of fathers who are also mothers, so don't want to be sexist about it. But if I'm elected, I would be a fierce advocate for our students. I want to make sure that they have the tools that they need to navigate this world because it's changing so fast, AI being one of those things. I know you can't just be like, forget it. You have to implement clear plans moving forward. But I do think that we should provide a variety of choices, including trades, four-year degrees, and beyond, just to prepare for the possibility that AI may be limiting so many career paths. We've got an incredible special education service. I would love for it to move a little bit faster. I would like, once, to get into it, because once you get in, it's like chef's kiss. I want to expand the gifted programs. I want to expand the arts. I want to make them a priority. I want to get the kids off the screen and into nature so that they learn to love nature and to protect nature. I want to support our teachers, our staff. I want to promote a culture of respect and kindness and inclusion, no bully zones, parents, everyone. I want to increase the transparency and communication within the community so every student's needs are recognized and met. And I just want to strengthen our community. Everyone is so nice and cozy, and it gets scary. Did I say that? What did I say? But we're all in this together for the kids. So vote for Michelle and I on May 19th. Thank you guys.
Michelle, you're up.
Thank you. So thank you again to the Clarkstown Council of PTAs for hosting this forum that allows the community to learn more about the candidates running for the school board. I want to close the way that I opened as a parent. When I tuck my kids in at night, I'm not thinking about budget lines or board procedures. I'm thinking about whether my son's teacher knows he's a little anxious about something or can identify that maybe he needs some help. I'm thinking about whether my daughter will walk into kindergarten next year and feel safe and supported. Every parent watching this knows exactly what I'm describing, that quiet, constant hope that our kids will be okay. A school board's job is to protect that hope, to make sure that when our children walk through those doors, the adults have the training, the resources, and the support to meet them where they are. That's the work I've done for 15 years as a clinician and an educational leader. It's the work I'll do on the board, building bridges between our schools and our families, between our district and the broader community, and between the children who are thriving and the ones who need more support. You don't need to take my word for any of this. You can visit my website to get a sense of my platform and my goals at bondsarforccsd.com. Please read my platform and what I stand for and what my vision is for our schools. You can always also email me at michelle@bondsarforccsd.com. well, I welcome you asking me the hard questions, and I want to hear from you so that we can have those meaningful conversations. And on Tuesday, May 19th, please vote. Vote for whoever you believe will fight for your child the way that you would. I hope you think that's me. Either way, and Brooke. Either way, and these guys too. Either way, our kids are counting on us to show up. So thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you very much. With that, our time is up for the evening. Thank you to our candidates for joining us tonight. To our viewers at home, please go to the PTA Council website for more information on the candidates. Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.